Hey folks, today I'm going to keep the tutorial on Power Automate. And if you don't know about Power Automate, it's one of the many things that the Power platform is giving, right? So let me just set in here. Okay, let me log into my account with okay. Yeah, so Power Automate is available on Microsoft 365, right? This is it right here. So I'm just going to click on Power Automate. Now, Power Automate allows you or helps you to automate, business processes. So this is how the interface look like. Now, this is what we're going to be doing today, all right? Assuming I have 5,000 of people that I have to send, activation codes to, right? I have their emails and I have the unique activation code assigned to each and every person. I don't want to go to my Outlook account and then be like, okay, I'm just going to send them one after the other. I used to do that all the time. But today I'm just going to use Power Automate, to automate this particular process to send to each and every recipient. Okay, so now that you understand the problem here, let me go to Power Automate to do that. So I'm just going to click on create. Yeah, and it just takes some few minutes and I'll click on instant flow because I want to click on just a button and then it should be able to send, to the 5,000 recipients I want. So I'm going to call this one custom email. Yeah, custom email sender. All right. Yep. More descriptive name will do. Then I'll click on create. And it just takes some few minutes. Yeah, so I have my trigger here. So I'm just gonna go to my next step. So the next step is that I want to connect to my Excel OneDrive. So I'm just gonna say that list rows. Okay, yeah, it will just take some time, but it is gonna give me all that I need here. Yeah, so I don't want to connect to my Excel online business. I want to connect to my Excel OneDrive. All right, so list rows for OneDrive. Oops, why? Yeah, Excel OneDrive. Okay, so it's just going to take some few minutes and then it to be loaded, right? So I'll be told to select from the list of files I have on my Excel OneDrive, right? So I'm just going to click on it and notice the name of my file is actually test email, right? That is what is open right here, test email. Okay, all right, and I'm just going to click on the drop down and it will select the table for me. All right, the table one. Yeah, and the table one is actually this particular table right here. Okay, then I'm just going to click on next step. Okay, and so the next step is that I want to declare a particular variable because not all the fields here within the email fields has, recipient. So when it is empty, it shouldn't send, right? So that is what I'm going to just define here. So I'm going to say that I need to initialize a variable. Okay, it's just going to take some few minutes and then it will be loaded. Right, yes, initialize variable. So this variable, I'm just going to call it empty because when the email field is empty, then I don't want to send anything. So empty field, right? And I'm going to make it a string and I will set the value to empty. Okay, yeah, and that is what you can see here, right here, empty, right? So if it is empty, it shouldn't send. Okay, so I'm done with that. Then I'll go to the next step. So my next step, I now want to apply for each loop on the list of rows I'm getting. So I'm just going to say apply. Okay, and it's going to give me suggestions very soon, right? So yeah, so I'm going to apply for each row on it and I'll grab the list of values I'm getting from and this is a dynamic data, right? So list of items I'm getting from the OneDrive Excel table here. Okay, then I'm going to click on action, right? So now that I have all the values, I want to make an if statement. So I'm just going to type condition. Okay, and yep, I have my condition here. So my condition is going to state that if the email field, right, is equal to, yep, empty, if it is empty field, then I mean, if it's not empty, right? Yeah. If it's not equal to empty, right, meaning we can proceed, then it should just send an email to some list of recipients for me. So in this case, I'm just going to say send email. Okay. And it's going to give me a list of, either Gmail or Outlook or yeah. So I'm going to select on send an email with Microsoft 365 Outlook. Okay. Yep. And yeah, it's going to take some few seconds and then that will be loaded for us. Good. So now I can specify that all the recipients who are on my Excel sheet here should receive, their activation code. So I'm just going to come back here and I'm going to click on add dynamic data and I'll select email, right? Because the email rows contains all the list of emails. Right, then as of now, I just send, add a subject like my normal emails. This is your activation code. Okay, then I'm just going to come to the body part and I'll say hello. And I'll say this is your activation code. Okay, then I will dynamically display each and every activation code associated with users right here. Okay, so that is it. Okay, and that is it. I'm done with all that I need. I'm just going to click on, don't expect anything more. That is all. So I'm just going to click on save, and this particular flow is being saved for me, which means I can now run the flow and it will send email to all my recipients. So I'm just going to click on test and I'll click on I'll perform this trigger action and click on save and test. Okay, now in some few minutes you'll be getting email, so I'm going to go to my Gmail account to see whether I'll be getting, any email from this particular flow created. And the whole point is that I have dawoodidris@gmail.com here. So I'm just going to check there whether I had, the email received. So in a few minutes, my browser is going to load and then we will see whether I received an email or I didn't. Okay. So just right here. And I'm going to go to my Outlook, to see whether I received an email as well. Okay, so my browser is just giving me failure. Let me see what is actually happening. I think that's had to do with my network. So I'll sign back in. So some few minutes, we'll be back right on track.